Hello everyone and welcome to a game of Nomad, but not just Nomad, Hyper Random, which is like Mega Random but more random, and it's given us not just a Nomad start, but also Nomad with Feitorias. So right from the start of the game, players are going to have 23 population because this takes 20 population, and they'll be getting a slow trickle of resources. And both players will have to put down a TC and then build a lot of houses before they get any villager production going. But anyway, this is from the Masters of Hyper Random tournament. We have Valis in the green taking on Dragonstar in the cyan in the south of the map. It'll be Japanese versus Britons. And oh, we also have Stormy the dog flying around. Oh, he barks if you click on him. This is one of the original Ensemble Studio developers, Matt Pritchard, had a dog that he put into the game as a cheat unit. So now he flies around. He's actually a bird. The dog is a bird. Anyway, both players starting to add in their houses. Looks like Valis will probably get his TC up first. I think Dragonstar had to walk this one ville all the way from the top to the bottom of the map, and that might slow him down a bit. Also a bit unfortunate with the Feitoria positioning, blocking his gold and his berries. But anyway, I'd watched this on my stream a couple days ago, but I just wanted to take another look at it because it's a really interesting game, particularly because of the the Civ matchup and the way the players have spawned on this map. So the Japanese, typically, you want to get a dock out to get their fishing ships, but since Valis has spawned in the middle of the map, if we select him and we'll look at his, oh, this is the Gaia player POV. I want player 3. Else can I? There we are. He has not actually scouted the edge of the map, and unfortunately for him, he has a whole bunch of sheep that are, or pigs actually. They're the same thing as sheep, but they're out here on the side of the map. He has not actually managed to find them, and because of that, he's had to build his dock in a location that does not have any deep sea fish, and he actually does not know that there are big fish on the outside of the map. Whereas Dragonstar, he already has his dock up. He has been scouting with his sheep, which is so important on Nomad because it lets you know not just where your opponent is, well, I guess he had a ville there, so he knows that from the start, but also where their dock is if they build a dock on the coast. And here it actually lets them know that there is outside water. And compared to the 0 deep sea fish for Valis, this is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, lots of deep sea fish for Dragonstar. So as he gets these fishing ships out, he's going to have a much better eco. Whereas, even though these are Japanese fishing ships and they do work faster, you really don't want to be the Japanese and have to gather from your box turtles. They are super cute, but they are like shorefish, gather much more slowly than the deep sea fish. And because of that, you can already see a difference in the player economies. We have the Japanese player sending all of their villagers onto food and not chopping wood, because it looks like he's decided not to continue adding in more fishing ships. Whereas Dragonstar has pretty much all of his villagers on wood, and he's relying just on the fishing ships. So this should let Valis click up faster, particularly since he got the TC up faster. But over time, this will give Dragonstar the much better economy, despite being a bit slower up. And we will see him catch up in that villager count purely because he's producing from the dock as well as the TC. But Valis already is up, going up with the mill. Of course, on Nomad, you need well, on all maps, but you always forget it on Nomad, is you need the mill in order to build a market. So if you want to do your blacksmith market fast castle, you need to build that mill. He's using the TC as a lumber camp and going for the mill and the dock as his Dark Age buildings, whereas it looks like Dragonstar has used the lumber camp in the dock.
Yay.
Sending some hunters, maybe he'll build a mill there. This is just such an unfortunate Feitoria positioning. It'd be much nicer to have his TC in a position where he could take gold as well. But yeah, he's going to build a mill there. And he's up to the feudal age as well. So Britons against Japanese, typically you think, or at least I think, the Britons are a much better civ. You have the extra range on your archers. So the Japanese do have very good arbalests, but the Britons, typically in a 1v1, they're much better due to the extra range. And also the faster producing archery ranges. And the other things the Japanese can do well is they have a great monk rush, because they have all of the monastery texts aside from heresy. But then they don't really want to monk rush the Britons because the Briton expos with 8 range can outrange mangonels and also do a pretty good job of picking off monks. Anyway, Valis is up to the feudal age, and he's actually sending a villager forward. He's scouting because he looks like he hasn't actually found any gold yet. He's controlling the middle of the map, but doesn't have any gold. That'll be awkward for him, but the Feitoria will still let him click up right away. Going down with the market and blacksmith to fast castle. Neither player adding in any military buildings yet, but Dragonstar continuing. He's added in 4 fishing ships. Now, if you think about this, that's, what, 75 food per fishing ship and 150 wood for the docks. That's already 450 wood that he has committed to those, to his navy. Now, he's up doing the blacksmith and market as well. And Valis actually, he has scouted this house, so he has some idea of where Dragonstar is. He's found that gold, too. And he's sending more villagers forward. He also knows that he was up to the feudal age first. He just sees that Dragonstar advanced, and so he knows he'll be up to the castle age first. So he's building the outpost. He wants to find his opponent, and he knows that he doesn't have any fish. And see, he still hasn't found the outside. So he doesn't know about the fish on the outside. But he's going to take this forward gold, and you might think, this is silly. Why are you going to take your opponent's gold? Wouldn't it be much safer to just scout more and take one of these golds in the back, try to find them instead of scouting forward? But this is actually going to allow him to use his faster castle age time. He's already putting the outpost forward to try and scout as much as he can see from Dragonstar's base. Dragonstar, meanwhile, he will see this outpost from the market, but he doesn't see these vills yet. The house doesn't have that line of sight. He just knows that his opponent has a vill there. Problem is, he's already clicked up to the next stage. He doesn't have loom yet, so he won't be able to do that for a while. But he's adding in even more fishing ships. That's 3 docks, and he's continuing. Let's see, is he pumping more? No, he's taking a break from pumping the fishing ships right now. And he's adding in a barracks. But that barracks isn't even going to be up by the time... There we go, more fishing ships. By the time that Valis is up, and already is adding in the siege workshop and the monastery. Now, again, difficult to use mangonels against the Britons because of the 7 range on their crossbows once you do fletching and bodkin. But when you're up this much faster, there's no archery range yet for Dragonstar, just that barracks. And if we look at his scouting, that market does not see the siege workshop, does not see the monastery. He doesn't know what's coming. Whereas Valis, that outpost, let's look his unit, can see the TC, the Feitoria, the market, and everything. And interestingly enough, Dragonstar has not taken any gold yet, and he's building that extra TC. He has a 5 villager lead right now because of all these fishing ships, which with this many, at this stage of the game, it's actually a pretty massive economy advantage. But the mangonel already is out, and here comes the monk, and he has an archery range. He's doing the crossbowman upgrade. He doesn't have any armor yet. Moving his sheep out of the way so they don't get mangonelled. And Valis is just going to start working down this town center. There's the next mangonel shot. More mangonels coming out. And town centers, he's repairing it. But town centers are ridiculously expensive to repair. And we can look at that wood steadily going down. We'll pick off a monk here with this TC. He's going to need to get gold somehow to get out crossbows, and he's putting up his own siege workshop. Now, this is where the Japanese do have an advantage against the Britons, because the Japanese get redemption on their monks. That redemption is the tech that lets you convert buildings and siege, and buildings the monk has to be adjacent to them. The mangonels can be converted from a distance. And now, Dragonstar can make his own defensive mangonel, which against many civs is what you want to play some mangonel dodgeball. But here comes the second monastery, and already we see Sanctity being queued. Sanctity increases monk HP from 30 to 45, so it lets them tank a single 40 damage shot from a mangonel. And this monastery is up. Let's see, will we see redemption? Yep, we see Valis using the market in order to get redemption. Oh, mangoneling the boar even. And this TC, if Capture Age can render the fire, is about to go down. We see 0 wood almost because Dragonstar has been repairing it and he's ran out of wood. The Feitoria does not give you a fast enough trickle to repair your TC. And almost down goes the first TC. We see 1 crossbow out, Bodkin coming in, so this will be 8 range, but Dragonstar needs to get the crossbows. Problem is he spent so much wood repairing that TC that he can't even make crossbows. He made 1 mangonel, but But here comes the monk with redemption, going to start converting the Feitoria, but then switch targets and convert the mangonel. If you switch targets while you're converting, you maintain the time towards getting the monk seconds for the conversion. And now Dragonstar, his Feitoria is going to be converted by this forward monk. He lost his TC, and now he's sending villagers to try to get the mangonel. He was up 30 to 25. He had a huge vill lead, but now he's losing them to the mangonels, and he loses the Feitoria too. Valis gets the conversion on it. The monk goes down, but more vills go down, and only 2 crossbows. That's not enough to stop 3 mangonels, even with the extra range. And the vill lead has just flipped. Dragonstar did have that huge vill lead, but he wasn't able to do anything with it. The monk gets another conversion on the vill, and there is the GG. And I just wanted to look at that game again because I thought it was a very interesting use of the monk rush from Valis, where his opponent had such a huge economy lead. Look at that. That's 8 fishing ships, 3 docks, and a Feitoria, but he just couldn't use it in time. He didn't have the TC on the gold because the Feitoria was blocking the position, and then didn't get the archery range up in time to get the crossbows out. The mangonel defense didn't really work, and there's just so much wood. We'll look at the statistics there. Let's see. Of course, the better military stats for Valis, but if you look at the eco, more wood for Dragonstar and a lot more food, but he wasn't able to use that. That's wood into docks, fishing ships, a second TC, a siege workshop, and mangonels, whereas all of that that food and wood for Valis, the counts might be lower, but what matters is the gold he was able to put into the monks and the mangonels. This is probably like 1,000 or so wood that was completely useless for Dragonstar there, whereas all of the wood for Valis went directly into his army. And we see even, let's see, that's 8 plus 25, so 33 to 27. So a huge, or I guess 28 with the useless fishing ship, but still a huge villager lead, just not able to turn it into anything. So, just wanted to revisit this match. I did cast the rest of the series, and I will be doing some more of the series going forward. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.